here. If you can hear us, if somebody would just make a little note in the chat box to let us know. Okay, well, okay, so we've gotten a notice, so that it sounds like you can't hear us. That's great. All right, well, thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be part of our webinar today. We're here to talk about meal plans and dining. So we'll share some basic information about food and beverage services on campus, special diets. We'll also go through some meal plan details. And we'll have plenty of time for your questions at the end. If you have a question, you'll be able to use the chat feature to send your questions to Mark, who will be collecting them for us and will be answering those for you. Also, today's session will be saved and uploaded to the parents' website for you to watch later. And for those of you who are here today, you will also receive a copy of today's presentation by email. All right, so first things first, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Brian Woodruff, and I'm the Director of Housing Contracts and Meal Plans. And I work in the Home Office, which is also currently changing its name to the Campus Services Center, so you'll begin to see that appearing when you're reading about us.
Everyone, my name is Ashley Blest. I am a General Manager and Registered Dietitian in Food and Beverage here at Miami. Very excited to be talking to all of you. And I will leave it over to Joanna.
And I'm Joanna Saba, and I am the Title Registered Dietitian in Food and Beverage.
All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about dining, and then we'll touch on meal plans in a little bit.
So again, this is Ashley speaking. I work in food and beverage. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some dining options that we have on campus and kind of what those look like. So in general, our dining options consist of buffets, a la carte locations, and markets. Outside of that, you also have little cafes and you have vending services. So in general, we have 5 buffets spread out around campus, conveniently spread out to where they're easily accessible via residence halls. And all of those 5 buffets will take what we call the swipe portion of your meal plan. Every single buffet has a component of a salad bar, like a grill area, and then some buffets have specialty areas. For example, Bell Tower Commons has a special Sonora stop station that's different than some of the others. Additionally, some buffets have made-to-order stir-fry stations and pasta stations and things of that nature. So every buffet has something a little bit different to bring to the table, but still some standard favorites. Talking about a la carte locations, we have our main hub in the middle of campus, Armstrong Student Center, that has multiple a la carte locations, kind of comparing it to like a mall food court, if you would. So it has like a pizza station, it has a really great concept, Haynes, that serves a Mediterranean-style bowl type of concept. So you can get, you know, a really great quinoa bowl and top it with, you know, fresh toppings and fresh hummus and things like that. They also have a concept, the toasted bagel, and it's a really, really great option for traditional bagel sandwiches. You also have the option of getting regular deli sandwiches at that option as well. Then you have traditional pizza, and then over to newer concepts over in Armstrong Dining Center. There is Cafe Lux, which is a very traditional cafe with coffee and pastries and such. And then you have Red Zone above that. That is, it has wings, hot dogs, burgers, things like that. So moving on to our market component of dining, students can use declining balance dollars in the markets, and I should have mentioned as well as a la carte locations. So those markets, we have McCracken Market was our very large market, somewhat of a grocery store, if you would, that is currently being remodeled. So it is offline. And the majority of those items have been spread out into the smaller market locations that are spread out around campus. And there are 6 of those. So we took the favorite items that were sold at McCracken Market and spread them out to the 6 satellite market locations that are often attached to a dining hall. In addition to that, we have some other a la carte locations outside of Armstrong Dining. We have King Cafe, conveniently located by the library. Dividends is a favorite that has really great salads and sandwiches and coffee, of course. And then obviously we have a very wide range of vending options via the vending machines in a lot of our buildings. So as far as our menus go, they're evaluated on a semester basis. So what you saw in the buffet menus and also the a la carte menus last semester or for spring semester if you were here isn't necessarily the same. We take a fresh look every single semester at our menus and really take a lot of student feedback as to what the favorite options were and then make appropriate changes based on that. So everything is new and exciting, and we think that the students are really going to love a lot of the menu changes that we've made. And then additionally, I just wanted to touch on some of the late night options that are available. So we currently have Pulley Diner that is open 24 hours. Hours vary on that based on, you know, if we have holidays in the mix or whatever it is, but generically it's open 24 hours. And then two other locations within Armstrong that close a little bit later than some of the buffet options or the buffet locations are Red Zone and Cafe Lux that I mentioned a little bit earlier. In addition to some of the really great menu options and locations and types of locations we've talked about, I also want to touch on the allergen coding that we have available on most of our screens. So the majority of our buffet screens are digital screens. So they will have coding at the bottom of them for the major 8 allergens as well as dietary preferences. So they'll have vegan, vegetarian, and, you know, it's worth mentioning, too, that we are a nut-friendly campus, and we've been so for a year now. So instead of seeing a traditional peanut and tree nut icon at the bottom, since we do not have those in our recipes, you will see a processed with nuts icon, and that would be appropriate for anything that would house a processed in the same facility as or processed on shared equipment with nuts. So that's why we call ourselves friendly as opposed to being nut-free. If any students are seeking any special accommodations kind of beyond these allergen icons and coding, we do have, Joanna will introduce herself again in a second and talk a little bit about what she does, but we have a disclosure form online in our special diets tab that goes straight to Joanna that just says, hey, this is my student's name, these are the special accommodations that they may be needing, and then obviously at the bottom you would put that they were a student as of fall 2018. I will let Joanna kind of take it away.
All right. So this is Joanna, and my primary role is to work with any students who have special dietary needs. So be it a food allergy or multiple food allergies or a medical condition that requires specific dietary accommodations, I'm here to work with those students. I can also provide guidance with general healthy eating on campus or using our coding system on our menu screens and things like that. So please let me know if you have any questions, and my contact information is also available on our website.
All right. So by this time, your students should have already selected their meal plan using their housing contract. Students can continue to change those plans for fall up until the first day of class. At that point, plans could no longer be changed for the fall. However, as the semester goes on, if they find that they didn't quite make the right decision as their lifestyles are adjusting to campus, they could always choose a different level for spring. So on the screen here, you can see our meal plan options. Hopefully these look somewhat familiar. I want to walk through them with you just to share the options that are available for your student and answer any questions you might have. So all of our meal plans are based on the same concept of buffet meals plus dining dollars is basically the structure of all of them. And then the 4 levels have various takes on that. So our Diplomat Premium consists of unlimited buffet meals and $800 in dining dollars. So this really is that no worry plan where you'd like to eat 3 meals a day and also have that option for the grab and go snacks between meals. This may be the plan for your student. The Diplomat Plus consists of 7 buffets a week and $1,100. So this option is really good for that student who might want to eat 1 buffet a day, and then they're using the rest of their meals, using the declining balance, getting meals on the go, that type of situation. typically a good idea for a student that might like to eat a breakfast and lunch on the go, but maybe they want to have that buffet meal for dinner. Could be a good option for those students. And then we've got our Diplomat Standard, which is the 16 buffets a week, and the $500. This is going to provide that 2 to 3 buffets a day, and also have some flexibility with the dining dollars in between those meals. And then finally, we have Diplomat Minimum, which is the 14 buffets a week, $100 added also. This is the lower priced option, and it's a great choice for someone who would like to eat the 2 buffets a day, and then not snack a whole lot in between, but wants to get those 2 substantial meals each day. Great option for those students. So I'd like to point out that with all of these, with the exception of the premium level, which is the unlimited buffets, the other 3 levels, those buffet counts do reset each week around 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. So that would happen each week. The unused dining dollars are going to roll forward as long as your student is enrolled at Miami. So the plans really are designed to provide the meal opportunities for the semester. We want your student to choose the right plan for them so that they can be basically using this plan up in the semester. But we do understand that some students do have some dollars that are left unused. So those will roll forward. They're not refundable when your student leaves Miami, when they graduate, but they do roll forward as long as they are enrolled as a student. So all of those plans do include 5 guest buffet meals as well. So in addition to the various options of the plans, each of them are going to come with 5 guest buffet meals each semester. Students can use for anyone they'd like to take with them to a dining location, a buffet location. And then additionally, the Plus, Standard, and Minimum plans also provide a bonus week's worth of buffet meals that can be used at any time during the semester. So both of those guest and bonus counts are going to roll along during the semester. So unlike the weekly buffets that reset each week by plan, those guest and bonus meals are going to stay with them, roll along throughout the semester. Those do not reset week. And then finally, I want to point out that as an added convenience, in addition to being able to be used at any of the buffet dining locations, those buffet meals can also be used to purchase special breakfast combos at select campus market locations. So you can get a breakfast sandwich, a coffee, a drink, and a piece of fruit during the week at our campus market locations with the buffet swipe, as well as lunch and dinner to go at Maple Street Commons Express. So just some additional opportunities there that if you can't quite get into a buffet, there's some opportunities still to make use and get value out of those plans. I want to point out that the declining balance dollars, you can add additional dollars at any time. And as I mentioned earlier, the unused dollars will carry over year to year. But however, they're not refundable or transferable when your student leaves Miami. So you'd want to kind of watch that carefully. You don't want to add too many dollars, and you can add dollars at any time too. So if it works for your situation, it's often a good idea to add smaller amounts more regularly if that's something they're using. That way you don't get stuck with too many at the end. And I'd like to point out that you can add those additional dollars using the One Stop website. So the same place that you would go for your normal account information. With your student's account, you could go to the One Stop website there, and there's information for doing that. Students can always see their dining dollar balance at cash registers at any time of a transaction. They can see how many buffet meals or dollars they have left. Additionally, they can view their balance and spending history by logging on to Web Card Center, which is our ID card system, and they would gain access to this by visiting the website there that's listed at the bottom of the page, which is miamioh.edu/ID card, and within that there would be a link to click to log into the ID card system. Balances can also be viewed on My Miami. There's a place you could see those as well. Students can download an app called Mobile ID to make meal plan purchases. That app can also be used to access their residence hall room. So that's a really neat feature that we have with our system. So you can find more information about that on the ID card website as well, directions of how to download that and to use that. But that's a great feature we've got. And then the other piece I wanted to mention is that you can also check balances and order, do mobile ordering through an app called Get. So that is called Get. There's directions for that on our website as well. In addition to checking balances, that app would let you order ahead for pizza at Armstrong Sundial Pizza. And you can see there again, those are two great websites that you'll want to mark, the ID card website as well as the meal plans website. So all the information I've shared along with all of the different prices for the meal plans are going to be on that meal plan page, and the ID card website just has a lot of helpful information about how the cards work, the mobile ID, and some of those other pieces as well. So that's the main information we wanted to share with you today. And at this point, we would like to answer any questions that you might have for us. And it looks like we've got a few already. So the question here is, how do students use their bonus buffet meals? And so that's something that would come into play if they've already used their weekly allotment of buffets. So if they're on the plan with, if they're on the standard plan with 16 buffets and they've already used 16, then that 17th time they go to the buffet, it would automatically begin to take from their bonus meals. Or if they're on the 7 plan with a plus, they've used 7, they go into their 8th, it's going to automatically take from that bonus or a bonus week. The question here as well, is it a whole week? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, so it's the question here. Is it a whole week's worth? Yes, it is. So it would be however many, whichever plan you're on. So if you're on the plus with the 7, your bonus bucket is going to be 7. If you're on the standard, you would have the 16, and minimum would have 14, and that is one set amount for the whole semester. So if you had the standard, you would get 16 bonus. That starts at 16 on the, when your meal plan starts on the day you move in, and you would keep that same amount until the end of the semester, unless you were to have used it during the week. All right, so that is that. Do we have any other questions? Have we shared so much great information that there are no questions? We're happy to help. You can see on the bottom of the page here, miamioh.edu/dining. That's going to be a great website to mark as well. The meal plan information is there, as well as Ashley's contact information, Joanna's info. You can get back to our housing website as well from that page. A lot of really good information, menus, hours of operation, is all going to live on that page. So that's a good one as well. And I think we've got a couple questions coming in, so we'll wait for these to come through here. Okay, so a question about kind of off-campus versus students on campus. And so everything I've shared today really has been focused on meal plans for on-campus students who live in residence halls. But we do have a large number of students who choose to still have a meal plan even though they live off campus. And typically those students are going to have what we call Express. And the Express plan is simply dining dollars. So that's going to be, basically they choose a particular amount they'd like to load on their account, and it's just a debit declining balance meal plan that they would use while they're on campus for classes or for activities. But that's really popular. We have thousands of students who live off campus each year who still choose to do that. And so if you wanted to do that, if you happen to have a student off campus, you could go on to either the One Stop website to add that, or you could go on to My Card, which is our housing system. If actually it's a place you could sign up for it as well. More info on that Express is also on the dining website. You could look that up there. And then also related to that, if with dollars that do roll forward, if your student, after they've had their 2 years on campus, if they move off campus, and it's always an option to live on campus for all 4 years, but if they decided not to, and they went off campus their 3rd or 4th year, if they had any dollars left over from their on-campus plan, that would automatically transition to their off-campus plan to be used on campus. as an off-campus student living off-campus. Try to make that clear. The dollars are not used at off-campus locations. They're for students who live off-campus who want to eat on campus. And the other piece about that I don't want to forget to mention is that we do have apartment-style housing on campus, and this is typically for second year and older students. But because those are apartment-style, the meal plan is optional there. And so they have full kitchens with ovens and stoves and dishwashers and all those things. And so any of our residents who live in residence halls are required to have a meal plan, and then those who live at Heritage Commons would be the one group of students who are not required to have a meal plan. They still can, but they don't have to.
So we had one kind of question or really a mention come through that we did not bring up our allergen station. So our allergen station is a station that is friendly of the major 8 allergens. The way that we do that is we just choose menu items that naturally do not have any of the major 8 allergens in there. All of those items too are prepped and made and then served by staff down at that station only. So any kind of a cross-connection issue or anything like that would not be a concern with this allergen station. And it is at Western Dining Commons.
Right, a question about how do students find out which locations take buffet versus declining. And all of our buffet locations will accept the buffet counts, basically your buffet meal. You'll be able to see all the locations on the dining website. But I can tell you that those locations would be Martin Dining Hall, there'll be Garden Commons, Western Dining, Bell Tower, Maple Street Commons, of course. How could I forget? That's it, right? Yes, those are the ones. All right, good. So those are the main buffet locations. Now, many of those also have a market attached to them, and so that would be a kind of a separate entrance or a distinguished space in those. And so when you would go into one of those locations, if you have buffet meals, you would use those. It would deduct one. You get in. If you didn't have buffet meals, or maybe you'd used all your buffets for the week and you used your bonus, if that has happened, you could always use dining dollars to access those as well in the event that those would be out. So that's kind of how that works. And now the thought about more the flexibility. We do have the Commons Express at Maple Street, which is the location that would let you use that buffet meal to get the to-go option. So that will be available there for lunch and dinner. And then for the breakfast combo at the market, that's going to be the Western Express, Garden Commons Market, Bell Tower Market. I think those are the main ones. Our website will have the specific locations where you'd be able to do that breakfast combo, and you'll see a sign for that. If your students go there, they'll see signs explaining that combo option. But they would just want to make sure that they're clear with the cashier as well that they're using their buffet combo for those. Okay, another question here. Oh yeah, so we'll just kind of a question about hours and such. The dining website, again, you see the link at the bottom of your screen, is always going to have the most up-to-date information about hours of operations. It is going to tell you, what are the different dining locations and what kind of, is it a buffet or is it a kind of paper item, as well as nutritional information is going to be there as well. And I know I use that regularly if I want to look in and kind of add up the calories and the nutrients that I've had that day. You can log in there and see that as well. All right. Well, once again, thank you all for taking the time to be here with us today. And if you have any other questions, by all means, please connect with us online and send us an email or give us a call. And looking forward to seeing all of you and your students back here very, very soon. All right. Have a great day.